Oh, good. Chris, Kyle needs to leave though. Like we got to wrap it up right at 7:30 because he's got to get to work.
Okay.
This is awesome. My little light, the light just died on it.
The one you just got?
Yeah, and it was fully charged. I bet you it turned itself on inside my backpack.
Oh no.
Let's see if I can power it up.
I thought with my new lights I wouldn't have to use a ring light, but I do still have to. So Chris, you gave the Mini a little scrub down yesterday.
Oh, it was so dirty.
Was it?
You know, when my coolant
Oh yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing it did was it, came out the bottom, went out the back, and came all the way back up on the hatch. So it was covered in coolant on the back. I had to re-detail the engine bay because it was covered in coolant.
That's not good.
So.
And did you just have it towed to your mechanic?
Yeah. It was an easy fix.
Yeah.
Like $250.
I'm jealous, guys. You guys both have minis.
We can get you one. I think we should get him that classic Mini.
Yeah. It's now electric green.
No, that's a lot of work.
Just to get in and out of it.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, when I bought it, it had like a little kind of a top in second gear, I would call it. And it didn't seem like transmission related. It seemed fuel related. And I was kind of worried because it ran kind of rough. And so I bought some of that Lucas Oil high mileage fuel system treatment.
Yeah.
And now it runs like a whole different car. It's so great.
Huh.
Like it runs so good. Totally took care of the issue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dang it.
You good? There's almost 25 guys on already.
Nice. See, we got Spencer from Sydney, Florida.
Intro on this. The least I talk, the better.
Yeah, no
on
problem.
this one.
No problem.
And I'll just mute myself if I start coughing.
Yeah, no problem. Morning, Samantha. Samantha's here. Josh is here. Party people, you know it. Frozen tundra of Iowa. It is thinking about being frozen here. It's 40 degrees, which I consider that frozen.
It's in the 20s again in Big Bear this morning.
Oh my gosh.
They're starting a class today.
Oh. Did everybody make it up there?
Yeah. Yep. We got Steve Hampton up there with his grandson this week.
Oh, fun. Good. Good.
That's awesome.
Cheers,
All right,
everyone.
guys.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning on Bead Maker and Coffee. Man, it's been a long 2 weeks. I feel like a ton has happened in the last 2 weeks. I feel like it's been forever since we've done this. So yeah, we've just had a crazy couple weeks, right? I know Kyle just got home from a family vacation, and let's see, the first week we went to Big Bear. That was super fun, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah, I'm hiding here.
Yeah, we had a good time. Chris is here with us. We met up in Big Bear, a bunch of us. What was there? About 100 of us, and had just a really great time. Man, it's so good to reconnect. And
yeah, I don't have very good light.
Met everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, So
we had I was gonna say we had almost 90 people in Big Bear for a Detail Mafia gathering. Just pretty cool. You know, a lot of companies didn't do SEMA this year. And so we traditionally have an event the day after SEMA. Mm-hmm. And so we shifted it to Big Bear instead. And it was really cool that many people came out, even though we weren't piggybacking on another event this year. So
yeah, it was super cool. We had a great time. It was so great seeing everybody. And it was just really fun. And then we came back and got back to work, and I know Kyle and I both just worked all week, and then Kyle went on a family vacation.
I don't know if it was
Yeah.
a vacation, but it
Right.
was
Yeah.
definitely a family trip.
Family trip.
Short.
I'm not sure they become vacations again until the kids are in college, right?
Their work, man. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work.
Yeah, it is.
Luckily, I had my in-laws there to help with the kids. My wife
Oh,
went
that's
and
nice.
ran a trail race out in Arizona.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's
And
fun.
so, yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
Just got back yesterday afternoon.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's see, real quick, let's go to what's happening with PNS real quick. So a couple things. We had a 1-day training last week, right? I think it was either Monday or Tuesday after we got back. The weeks are all blending together, but we did another 1-day. I know that hopefully we'll be putting up the schedule for trainings in Hayward for 2022 here pretty soon. But if I'm not correct, we are sold out for the rest of 2021, correct, Chris?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. Cool. So we are sold out through the rest of the year. However, we will be getting that schedule out soon. So watch for that. Everything's cranking away in Hayward, making everything that we can. We are obviously facing a few supply shortages, as is everybody. And then our next big event coming up is going to be in the Portland, Oregon area on December 4th. So that weekend after Thanksgiving. Myself and Keith will be heading to Northwest Auto Accessories in Portland to do a ceramic coating certification event. We'll be going over all 4 of the Inspiration Line ceramic coatings, and that's going to be super fun. If you are in that area and interested in it, just look back on our Instagram or Facebook. There's details on how to register for that event, but we are looking forward to that. And then probably the next big one will be MTE in Orlando at the end of January. So the next couple months are going to be crazy with the holidays, and MT is going to be here really soon. So we're pretty excited about that. But if you guys haven't been to Northwest Auto Accessories, an absolutely fabulous location. They've got great stuff, great staff. It's a kind of a truck supply place, truck boxes, wheels, tires, all that kind of stuff. But then they also have a whole detail supply center, which is really awesome. So
That
will
is a
be
really
coming up.
cool building.
Yeah, it is a really neat building. So that'll be coming up here in just a couple weeks. And I'm sure you will see pictures from that. That should be pretty fun. Oh, and then following that, also if you're in the Oregon area, immediately following the class at Northwest Auto Accessories, we'll be doing a shop crawl for the IDA. So we will just be heading up, and I'm not sure which highway. I can't remember if it's I-5 or 205. One of those two, we're going to head up the freeway and stop at a couple shops along the way, and then ending with an IDA meet and greet at Adam Garvin Auto Spa in McMinnville, Oregon. So that will be super fun. Watch for information on that to come out as well. But we're super excited about that. I'm not sure anybody's ever done anything like that, so we're excited for our first shop crawl up in Oregon. That'll be fun. So that's kind of what we have going on. Yeah.
I noticed a few things on our social media recently.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to post up pictures of our 5 gallons being blue.
Oh yeah.
And just that's kind of a testament to the hard work that they're putting in at PNS.
Yeah.
We don't have, it's the same design, same size 5 gallon, but they're in blue, and hopefully they're limited edition.
Right.
So same great product inside, but in order for us to keep moving along, we had to take with who our supplier or what our supplier had, and there's some blue 5s out there.
Yep. Yeah. And speaking of that, I think, and we saw this early on in the pandemic with some supply shortages, our sprayers had to change and things like that. And, I think that's what's really cool is that Bob and Dave and everybody in Hayward is really committed to making sure to get us the product any way that they can. So yeah, like you said, the 5s are blue. I know that recently we had the Legend bottles change from the red to the clear. I actually really like the clear, but we're not sure how long that's going to last either. So, just bear with us through the packaging changes and, but really it's just making sure that we're able to get everybody the product that they want. It just may not look the way that it always has. So bear with us on that. But yeah, the blue 5s they're pretty funny.
Yeah, they look different, but
Yep.
we got to do what we got to do.
Yep, got to do what we got to do. All right, so should we go into our details? Kyle, do you
Yeah,
want
why
to
don't
talk
you
about
lead
your
off
detail
on
first?
that?
You want me to go
You
off?
lead
Okay.
first. Yeah.
So, over the last couple weeks, just kind of oddly enough, I ended up with a lot of older vehicles. Um, and by older, I mean like early 2000s to mid 2000s. Um, Kind of beat up, a lot of rough parts and things like that. And so, one thing that I've always done this, but I've had to do it a lot in the last 2 weeks, so it kind of stands out to me, is just interior pieces being really dry and brittle and faded and things like that. And so, we've always known that inspiration was really good for, working with exterior trim. So if you have exterior trim that doesn't quite need solution finish, but it needs to be kind of darkened up and sealed, inspiration is a fantastic trim coating. I love it for that. But I started using it on the inside. So if there's, just little pieces inside, if they're black, or in my case, I was working on red seatbelt buckles. Sometimes just little pieces inside will be faded at an odd rate. And so you can actually use the inspiration to rehab those pieces of plastic. So in this case right here, this picture is actually of a Mini Cooper, and the inside of the Mini Cooper was great. It just had literally just the seatbelt buckles faded, probably because it's got the panoramic sunroof, so that UV over time had super faded the seatbelt buckles. They looked horrible. So I just put a couple drops of inspiration on a foam applicator and just brushed them with it. I did 2 coats about an hour apart, and it just soaks it up. It turns those buckles back red, and then it also helps from future UV damage. So rather than putting on a interior protectant that's just going to fade away in a couple weeks, I've been using inspiration for this, and it's so great because it's just a couple drops. It makes all the difference in the world in the way that it looks. So I've used this on, it's hard to explain without a picture, but a couple pieces of, like the stereo knobs or something, if they're super faded. There's just a lot of applications that you can use this on that just makes you look like a wizard to the customer. So this picture here, the top one was obviously untreated. The second one was after the second coat. And so just a quick, easy way. I did make a TikTok about it. There's a video on our Instagram, me doing that also. So check that out. Just a super useful way to, make those come back, and it takes literally seconds. So I've been doing a lot of that the last 2 weeks. So that's kind of what stood out to me. How about you, Kyle?
So if I can control my cough, I'm going to talk about Tempest today because, I've been really, really busy. I'm doing some planes, and I spent a lot of time last week on an RV. But before we did that RV, I did a vehicle where I did the WeatherTech floor mats, and they were pretty gross.
Yeah.
And I decided, okay, Sydney always talks about Tempest, even though my favorite is EnviroClean. Let's try Tempest. So we tried Tempest and just put them down on the driveway and scrubbed them with our red and unbleached boar's hair detail factory brushes. I didn't have to go crazy. Just really just worked in the tight spots mainly, and then just went over everything. And then I rinsed them off and set them down next to the truck while it just dried in the sun, and they looked great. I was really surprised because it had some kind of orange, could have been rust, could have been like clay, and some of the tight spots around where it said WeatherTech and in those edges, and it just cleaned all that really, really well. So, I haven't given Tempest enough, we'll say, field time. I always tend to go for EnviroClean. But I was really impressed. I really liked it. And I can see how it would work great on side steps, wheel wells, and engine bays.
Yep.
Another great product from our Chemtrol line. And I'm going to have to get my guys up to speed on Tempest now, since it's always something. I always find
Yeah.
something new, and then I got to train
Yeah.
them, and then they like it, and then we find something else. So that's going to be the new fad for extreme detailing. Is Tempest.
Yeah. I've been using Tempest on floor mats for, I mean, ever since the Chemtrol came out, so about 18 months now. It's all I use, and I just immediately, that's the first thing I do is pull all the rubber floor mats out of the vehicle when it gets here and soak them in Tempest. The thing that I like is I can leave it. I don't have to rinse them right away. And so I'll spray them down, and then literally probably 8.5 out of 10 sets, I don't even have to scrub, even when they're really dirty. I'll just let it sit, and then as soon as I pressure wash it off, they come out perfect every single time. And then there's always the cases, especially of the light tan ones, that I'll have to grab out the drill brush and brush them, just to get the deep down stains. But the Tempest has made cleaning floor mats easily 50% faster for me, easily. I used to scrub on those things forever. And then the other side effect that I love of Tempest is it doesn't dry them out. So previously to when Tempest came out, not so much with EnviroClean, but other cleaners I was using on the floor mats would make them turn almost like a brown, gray, it would super dry them out when you cleaned them. And Tempest doesn't do that. So I really, really, that's all I've been using. And I love it. I'm a huge Tempest fan. So.
And then following it up, I mean, they didn't need it, but I still wanted to do it. I sprayed them, and I used Shape Up this time.
Oh, okay.
I usually go for natural finish.
Yeah.
But I gave it a fine mist of Shape Up, and I just let it soak them up.
Yeah.
I wiped off the backside before I put it back in the truck, and then I didn't really wipe them off till I put them in the truck. Like I wiped the backside, right? You don't want grass or water on your freshly cleaned carpet.
Yep.
I laid them down, and then I just kind of blended them in with a microfiber, and it looked great.
Yeah.
So
that's what I do.
That was another
I like
great product.
Yeah. That's awesome. I haven't used Shape Up on them. I use Natural Finish as well, and that's what I do. I just have a towel with me as I'm reinstalling them and give them a little wipe. And they're not slippery or anything like that, which is what I love that. So cool. All right. Well, Chris, should we get into some questions? I see lots of people checking in. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Cool. So I saw one from, Corey. Okay, so what is Inspiration View cure time before the windshield can get wet? I wasn't worried months ago, but now it's raining every day. So kind of my rule of thumb, and this is why I put the bead maker on 2 hours after that last coat of view. Bead maker is going to kind of protect the view while it is curing. So the process is view coat 1, wait 45 minutes to an hour, coat 2, then wait 2 hours and do a good coat of bead maker, and then allow the bead maker to cure for a couple hours. So the bead maker just, kind of keeps the water off of it while it's curing. So I would say, once you're done with the view and you've got bead maker on, I mean, probably just a couple hours and you're going to be fine. The water's not going to hurt it. The thing that I would say could be a little bit of an issue possibly is if the person's going to drive right away, and if it's really raining hard and the windshield wipers are going to town. I'm not sure within the first 12 hours how it's going to hold up to that. So ideally, if the car didn't go out and drive in the rain for the first 12 hours, that's probably, a safe bet. If a customer has to do it, they have to do it. And there's not much you can do. I would, the bead maker is going to provide a certain level of protection from all of that. But, ideally 5 to 12 hours before windshield wipers get super heavily used on it.
Yeah, because the coating is going to be still curing, and you're going to remove some of it. And so it's not going to get its maximum longevity.
Yeah.
So the longer they can cure, for that 48 hours, the better.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Cool. And I hope to see you in a couple weeks, Corey. He's in the Oregon area. Okay. So Billy says, where do you get, it says Temps, but I'm assuming he means Tempest. So Tempest is going to be available at distributors. There's a couple online retailers that carry the Chemtrol line. And then obviously on the PNS Detail Products website, we have the full Chemtrol line. So the thing you're looking for, if you're looking through different lines on the PNS detail product site, it's just under Chemtrol or under degreasers.
And maybe he doesn't know, Chemtrol is our dilution station and system.
Yep.
So you can buy the gallons individually or fives and dilute them yourself, or you can be fancy like Sydney has in her shop there. We have them on our walls where we push a button, water pumps through and automatically dilutes the product for us as we fill our bottles or gallons. And so that's really what the Chemtrol line is to control your chemical usage. And that's why it's part of that line.
But you don't need the machine to do it. I did have that question from
but it
somebody.
Sure is fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. But I did have that question from somebody, and it was actually regarding TrueView, if they could still use TrueView without the Chemtrol, and absolutely you can. You're just going to be diluting it to yourself. So
That's
all the dilutions are on the back of each gallon. So you're good. You can totally mix it yourself. But yes, the Chemtrol unit is amazing. It's life-changing, and it's one of my favorite things in my shop. I love it. I love it. We've got Keith Duplessis checking in from the land of boxes. That is fun. Good morning, Keith.
Boxes.
Yeah, he's up to his eyeballs in boxes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think he has to move at the end of next week. That seems fast. All right, so from Michael, we've got, I want to dress and protect aircraft tires after maintenance. What's best for this? I'm hoping to use for some interiors as well. Dynamic 5-to-1 has been my go-to for years. Kyle, this sounds like one for you.
So right now with supply chain issues, if you like the dynamic, I think you're still going to like using natural finish for those rubber and plastic surfaces, mainly because the reason why is they're both water-based type dressings, so they're dilutable, and it's not going to cause a problem with the airplane. Some of the other products out there are a little thicker. I've used Odyssey recently on some aircraft tires, and it worked great, but it didn't soak it up like I liked when I used dynamic. So go to natural finish for now, unless you have dynamic.
Yeah, natural finish has a very similar silicone base as dynamic, so it will seem more familiar to you than say like Odyssey. Odyssey's great too, but try natural finish for sure, for sure. All right. Next one, we've got Mike C. This is a great question. Can you use undressed to clean trim I want to apply solution finish on? After undressed, an IPA wipe down still required. So yes, absolutely you can. It's going to work in a very similar way. And actually what I like about undressed on the trim is, again, it's not going to extra dry it out like maybe some all-purpose cleaners can. So you can absolutely use undressed on that. Just make sure you rinse it off the paint. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's always one of those, don't use it on unintended surfaces. So, go ahead and clean your trim with undressed, rinse it really well, dry it, and then absolutely an IPA wipe down. I'm a big fan of IPA wipe downs before solution finish, no matter what. It's just going to help.
I would use paint prep as my wipe down.
Yeah, paint prep, IPA, whatever your prep solution is, definitely do that, because that, solution finish is another one of those products that it's all in the prep, and the better you do on your prep, the longer the solution finish is going to last. So for sure.
Anthony just chimed in, and I was going to mention, great thing, said the Scrub Ninja and EnviroClean works great. And I would second that. Just got to make sure you fully, you remove any residue. That's why I would put paint prep on a towel. I wouldn't spray it directly.
Right.
And then go ahead and remove it, and then let it outgas, let it dry out for a few minutes. Give it 10 minutes. Maybe by the time you get around the whole car, it's time you can start. But there's still moisture in the plastics that you want fully dry.
Yep, for sure.
And then you'll have great results with solution finish, because that's a great product.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. What do we got up next?
Hold on a second. I was getting something. Oops. Shoot.
I see a question from Spencer as a follow-up to the chemtrail. You want me to take that?
I know, that's what
okay.
I was trying
Perfect.
to get.
Okay, so he asks, going back to the chemtrail, you can put up to 4 different chemicals, correct? Spencer, it's actually 8. So it's 8. So if you look at this particular unit is the cabinet unit, and it holds 4 gallons. So these 4 gallons go to that black button on the left. These are the bottle fill side. So this is what we call bottle fill side. And the 2 different sides, it's a different flow rate. The one on the right, which is red, is the bucket fill. So those 4 chemicals in that cabinet all feed the bottle fill side. Then there's 4 more ports behind that faceplate that go to the bucket fill. And those are generally going to be either 5-gallon containers or even gallon containers that are stored off to the side, down below on the floor of your chemtrail. And those are going to fill the bucket side. So you might have those tubes going to soap and wheel cleaner and things like that. So both of the chemtrail units actually do 8 chemicals. I know it looks like
It
4,
just
but
does
it's
exactly.
just because
It just
that
does 2
cabinet is
different
holding
fill
4.
rates.
Yeah. And so the smaller unit, which just doesn't have the cabinet, the smaller unit's actually meant for more high volume shops that are all 8 of their chemicals are pulling out of 5-gallon containers. So they still work exactly the same. This one just has the 4 gallons up on the cabinet on the wall. So they both work the same, and they both hold 8 chemicals, which is awesome. So you just have to decide which chemicals do you want to be on the bucket fill side, and which side do you want to be on the bottle fill. Now, that's not to say that you can't fill bottles with the bucket side. It's just going to come out a lot faster, and you have to remember to shut it off quite a bit before the top of the bottle, because whatever's left in that tube, whatever length that is going to go in your bottle or on the floor.
Yeah, there's an
You fill it up
adjustment
too high.
inside
Yeah.
when you do one or the other. There's a metering tip, and so you may have to use a different size tip, so that way it is not pulling more chemical with it or less. So you just change out the tip for the right. And the great thing about this, it's really easy. If you were to get it on the back of every gallon and on the bottles, it actually has the tip color and the gallons per minute meter. So it tells you what tip you would use for either the bottle fill side or the bucket fill side.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then Josh here saying, I absolutely love my chemtrail. It saves so much time not having to mix chemicals, and definitely pays for itself in no time with the amount of product saved. Isn't that crazy? That was one of the biggest things I noticed, especially on things like EnviroClean and Carpet Bomber. That was one of the biggest things I noticed, was just how inaccurately even I was mixing the chemicals, because my gallons last so much longer. And so yes, absolutely, it saves so much product. So in shops, these are great because it controls product usage. And then for people like me, it controls product usage, but it also just makes it quite a bit easier, more convenient to fill up my bottles. Things like the EnviroClean, Tempest, and the Carpet Bomber, I'm literally filling those up every couple days. And it's just so nice to be able to walk over and push a button. It's so great. And then obviously
I like to fill my gallons off of it. So I take gallons with me in the van.
Right.
And I have employees.
Yep. Yeah.
And my employees don't know the difference in, you can tell them how much product to put in a bottle, but they always think if 1 ounce is good, 10 ounces is better.
Yep.
And so we waste product. So by pre-diluting my glass cleaner, that way they just fill the bottles, and they get basically there's 4, 32-ounce bottles in this gallon. And they can fill that up as needed, and then we just read. Now I can't do that with everything, but I can at least do that with EnviroClean, TrueView, Tempest, are my main, and then my other gallon that's always in there is body wash. And body wash, I use that when I bring vehicles home to do corrections and coatings. It's kind of my go-to soap for cleaning before a correction and coating.
Yeah. And for the bucket fill, holy cow. I mean, when you can just leave your bucket on the floor and put that tube in, and it automatically dispenses the water and the soap at a perfect dilution. Oh my gosh. That is just for that function.
Well,
It's worth it
fill my
alone.
foam cannon with it too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do too. So I have knockoff in there, and I like to use knockoff in like the IK sprayer. And so super easy. I have it set to the perfect dilution for the IK sprayer. And I mean, for anybody who's used the IK sprayer and like Breakbuster or knockoff, so I actually have both knockoff and Breakbuster running through my Chemtrol. And to be able to just fill the IK sprayer up and not have to do that whole 5-to-1, where's the line, stir it, all that business, it's so nice. So nice. So definitely if you're an IK sprayer fan, the Chemtrol works awesome for that as well. So cool. Spencer says we blew his mind. Hopefully you mean with all the Chemtrol stuff. It's very fun. Love the Chemtrol. Love the Chemtrol. All right. So next we've got, I love all the Chemtrol questions. So Abraham asks, can Beadmaker also clean exterior windows? It can seal them, but it's not a cleaner. So I'm still going to advise you to clean the window first. Mainly just because Beadmaker does not have any surfactants or polymer cleaners or anything like that. So you're still going to want to start with a clean window, but then you can absolutely treat the windows with Beadmaker. But if a window is just very lightly dusty or something, I might go ahead and use Beadmaker. But you really want to clean them with a glass cleaner first, just to get all of the debris off of there, because you don't want to be spreading it around and possibly scratching the glass. So I would still clean them normally first, but then absolutely use them as a glass sealant. It's fantastic. Cool. All right. So Abraham again says, sounds crazy, I know, but I was finishing an exterior compound polish, had some overspray on the windows, and it came clean. Oh, you can use it to remove compounds and polishes. That's no problem. You just don't want to use it to clean dirt. So absolutely, if you're cleaning up compound and polish, yes, you can use Beadmaker. That's just fine. Just fine. All right, Mike C. This might be one for you, Kyle. How soon after repainting or getting a new panel can you use Beadmaker, Soul, or Inspiration?
So this is always a good question for the painter, because every state has different regulations. I don't know if the vehicle was baked or not, or some places just say 30 days to allow it to outgas and cure. Some places or some body shops are going to say, oh, you're good to go right away. So I'd make sure you talk to the body shop or the painter for their idea. If you're really scared, maybe give it 30 to 60 days. Let it cure out if you're not sure. Yeah. But that's not a detail side question. It's more of the paint side question.
Yeah, because all the different manufacturers, and it's going to depend on how many layers of paint are on there. There's a lot of variables in there, so just check with the painter for sure. And I know I had a couple months ago, I had a case where a Tesla had been in a wreck and got a new bumper, and it went to Tesla to get the new bumper. And when I called there to ask this very question, how soon can I put ceramic on it? They were like, oh, you can use it right away because this panel was actually painted a year ago. So they, how they only have certain colors, they literally paint all the bumpers and then they store them in racks. And when they replace panels, often they're not brand new painting them. They're just replacing the body panels. So always a question for the body shop or the painter, because it'll just depend on, what exactly they did, and how many coats of paint, how much the body filler, all that kind of stuff. So, just check with the painter. Okay, so let's see. Chris, do you want to pull up Josh's question? This is a good one. Josh, any new and exciting products in the pipeline for 22? And then the last part's where it goes wrong. We can't discuss it. So he says that can be discussed. No, we can't actually discuss it, but not too many though, to be honest. Right now we're just trying to make all the stuff that we have. So that's kind of the focus for PNS right now. We are always trying to innovate and answer some industry needs and things like that. So there's definitely discussions out there and things like that, and they'll be super exciting if they are able to come to fruition. But we can't really discuss what it is or anything like that because we don't know if you know it's going to work out. But yes, Dave is always in his lab and concocting fun things, and some of them are crazy ideas that the team has, and so we don't know if they're going to happen, and so we can't really say anything. but it was a good try.
Good try.
Good try.
There may be some updates on products that we've done.
Yes, and so
maybe we'll give you that hint.
Yep. So as you've noticed, 2021, we haven't come out with too many new products, right? But there's just been some updates. We're definitely have some products that we're pulling back up from the Pro line and kind of putting a spotlight on. So there will be a couple more of those. So stay tuned for that. You know, there's a lot of great products in the Pro line. They just get kind of overlooked. And so we have been doing a lot of label refreshes, label updates. And so that's been really fun. So there will be a couple more of those in 2022, and then hopefully a new product or two in 2022. Okay, so Miller Detailing. Good morning, everyone. I don't know if I missed it, but did you guys have a new release this year at SEMA or in general? Thanks. So we actually didn't attend SEMA. We chose and it was several weeks ago that we had to make that decision on whether PNS was going to attend SEMA. And at the time, everything was a little bit crazy. So we just decided to take this year off and play it safe. So we did not attend SEMA. And did we have any new releases this year that he missed? Undressed was probably one of our bigger, kind of releases. That's been a fun new product. Do you have any other? My years are rolling together. 2020. We had 12 or 13 new products in 2020.
I know there was a lot. No, 2021 was full of just making sure that we had products out to you.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you we're going to make some changes to some products, maybe in sizes, coming 2022. And if everything goes to plan, maybe we'll release a product at Mobile Tech.
Yeah. Yep. And then the biggest one we forgot for 2021 was Legend. Legend came out in 2021, right at the beginning. So yes, Legend. It's been all about Legend all year. So
it wasn't Rags to Riches this year.
Was it, or was it late last year? I don't remember.
I think it was
this year.
Was it this year?
Yeah, it came out this year.
Keith
it just was like maybe we're blurring 2020 or 2021 because we talked about these all throughout 2020.
Well, we waited for 2020 to end, and it's never ended. So, so yes, we speak to Rags to Riches came out this year, and then obviously Legend came out early spring, and that's been awesome. Oh my goodness, look how bad we are, Edward, with the Dream Maker.
Oh.
We are fired.
I'm just sitting here trying to not. I'm just trying not to let the cat out of the bag on the new stuff. I'm not even thinking about what happened in 2021.
Oh, that's
I kind of hope. I'm excited for 2022, just so we can call it a new year.
Oh man, yes, exactly.
I don't think
so
I'll
we're
be
so
happier
bad
for New Year.
Yeah. So Rags to Riches came out in January. Legend came out in March, and then Undressed came out in July. And then the Dream Maker came out
August, September.
Yeah. Yep. Labor Day. So yes, we did have some exciting products come out in 2021, and Dream Maker's been awesome. That was such a cool product. That was literally brainchild there. So that was super fun. So I don't know that we'll hit 4 next year, but
it has been around for a while. It just got an update.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Miller. Epic just looks new, but it's been around. It's been a favorite for a while.
Yes. And so Epic's one of those ones that we just talked about that's in the pro line. It's kind of in I'm not really sure what line the Epic's in. It's kind of in this green.
It's an eco-friendly
line. Yeah. And so Epic, we started kind of highlighting that in August, and it's taken off. Epic's been around for a long time, and it's absolutely awesome. So if you haven't checked out Epic, do that too. And then all the products this year have been great. Undressed is awesome, and Undressed might be getting a friend soon, which will be fun. All right, let's see. Abraham's got some good questions today. How many pads per car is everyone using? So far, I'm using 2 wool pads, 2 polishing pads. Does that sound about right? pad guy.
It depends on the size of the car. If you're doing a small car like Sydney and Chris have, a Mini Cooper, maybe you're getting away with 2 pads. You probably need another a pad for the hood and the roof and trunk. So I tend to use about 1 wool pad for every 2 to 3 panels. I like to switch them out as I clean them to keep them cool, unless you're cooling them down with like paint gloss. But when you're doing like a big truck or even an RV, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 6 wool pads, at least 2 or 3 for each side, and then you got the hood, the roof, and the tailgate. On an RV, we can easily use 10 to 15 wool pads during a correction, easy. Depends on how hard are we correcting too. Are you digging out a lot of flaws, or it's just like a 1-step correction and then a polish, you know? So the reason why is because I guess you can use that little of pads, but you got to clean them really good.
Yeah.
You're going to get clear coat buildup.
Yeah. Yeah. And Abraham, I used to, try to skimp on the pads and kind of stretch them out. So I used to use exactly what you're using. And then I just added more pads. And here's what I noticed is it was a little bit of an investment up front. But so now I probably use, for each step. So just, 1 of each color, whatever. So if I'm using burgundy or blue, I'm usually going through about 4 to 6 per car. And then so each step about the same amount, because what I've noticed is I can work faster because I'm not loading up the pad. So I'm getting better cutting ability. So I'm not trying to stretch it. And then on those last panels where the pad's actually full, it's not really doing anything. So I'm getting a better correction when I'm switching the pad out more often. And then the biggest thing that I notice is how long my pads are lasting. Kyle knows, and let's see, Clint and Justin and Kyle came here one day and looked at all my pads and ended up throwing them all away because I pushed them all to their limit. And so now what I notice, because I do switch them out so often and I don't push them to their limit, my pads are lasting so much longer. Actually, all the ones that I started with from when they were here, and what was that, like in May or June, they're all perfect. So I definitely have gone to more pads and less stress on my pads. And now they're lasting. I feel like I'm getting better correction, better cutting. I'm not pushing it. And, I used to find that all of a sudden I'd have a panel that didn't turn out as good as the first one. And that was just because the pad was loaded up and not able to do the same amount of cutting. So, I used to do it this exact way, but I would maybe look at adding a couple more and see if your efficiency and your pads don't start having a little bit better result.
One thing I learned about pad maintenance, and I learned from Sydney, is and remember we threw your pads away because you were soaking them so long. That it was actually causing a problem. So if you're going to soak your pad, it's okay to soak it for just a little bit. Before you throw it in, but don't let them sit for days in the bucket.
Right. And now what I do is I just take the EnviroClean, and before I throw them in my bucket, I just like almost soak the front of it so it doesn't get on the back. So I soak the front with, several sprays of EnviroClean, toss it in the bucket. So each pad, when I'm done using it, I spray it with EnviroClean, toss it in the bucket, and then I'm just washing them, and perfect. Because then right away that EnviroClean starts to break down the compounds and polishes, and then they're ready to be washed whenever, because sometimes I only wash my pads, once a week. I don't do a ton of corrections. So that's kind of my new way of maintaining them, and it's worked out great.
And then throw it in the wash machine with
throw it in the wash
to
with rags
riches.
to riches. Yep.
That's what I do.
I don't have any more backing failure, which is awesome. I battled with backing failure for a long time. Okay, Abraham, also trying to get a setup in my garage. I would love to see more tools to maximize space. So I don't know if you've been watching the Rag Company garage tours. That series has been really great. There's lots of great tips. Each garage has different little tips and tricks that you can take from it. There was one on my garage that turned out pretty good. I have, a 600 square foot shop basically that I'm working out of, and I have all the things that a big shop would. It's just very condensed and super organized. So check that out. We will be recording a new one here soon because, as some of you may have seen, I did quite a bit of shop upgrades recently. So we'll be doing another one, but check that series out if you haven't. There's a lot of really great tips on there. And then the other one that obviously has really great garage tips is Obsessed Garage. So Matt Mormon also goes around and builds out these amazing shops. And while some of them are crazy and super expensive, there's still things that might spark a design idea or an organization idea that you can customize to yourself. So I would check out both of those programs for sure.
You didn't do a shop upgrade. You did a shop overhaul.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It looks great.
It looks a little bit better. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so Miller Detailing wanted to give you both and the P&S team a huge shout out and thanks for great videos, product, and information you provide. Well, thank you for saying that. That's what we're here for. We hope that we are helping. And I want to mention on that too, because Kyle and I were on the road a week ago before we went to Big Bear. We had a couple stops in Southern California, and that was so cool to run into so many detailers that mentioned how much they love Bead Maker and Coffee and the YouTube revamp and all of that. So thank you for saying that. We've heard that a lot recently, and we're glad to know that our efforts are helping everybody. That's awesome. That's what we're here for.
That was really cool. I mean, the other thing, I didn't realize how many people are watching the replays of this,
Yeah.
It was like we have 30 to 50 people on regularly, and then we see there's like 500 people watching the recorded version, which is really cool. So thanks.
That's awesome. We love it. So just a quick note, if you can't join us live and you're listening to this on a replay, always feel free to send us questions to our Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger. And we can add that to the next show and answer it live, because we do get a lot of great questions via our social media messaging. And so if you want us to answer a question on Q&A, but you can't join us live, always feel free to send us the question ahead of time and we're happy to answer it. So Uni, how is Dynamic looking as far as coming back anytime soon? I don't think good. I think Dynamic's going to be gone for a while, unless something supply chain wise changes crazy. But from everything I've heard, it's probably going to be a while. And when it does come back, it's going to be a completely different price. So,
I believe
and like we keep saying, natural finish is a good
with silicone.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So we all miss Dynamic. It's very sad, but natural finish is a great alternative. Okay, so Miller, looking to apply a new coating on my wife's car. I've tried many, but none from the P&S yet. Which do you both prefer? Thanks in advance. And why? Kyle, which coating do you prefer? That's going to be a hard one for me.
I really have fallen in love with Inspiration. Again and again, I'm always happy with how it goes on trim, on wheels, on paint. I'm happy with its hydrophobicity. And so for people that are just, trying into new coating or trying new brand, Inspiration's great. And then if you're looking for something tougher, go to Legend. If you're looking to sell a quick coating that is, just going to last a year and it's affordable for people, then Sol. But right now I'm getting kind of partial to Inspiration again. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It goes on so nice, and just was a pleasure to work with too.
Yeah. That's pretty much my answer too, which for any of those of you that have known me for quite a while, years ago, I did not care for Inspiration at all. And that's putting it kindly. I just didn't get it. I didn't love it. And now I'm obsessed with it. I absolutely love Inspiration. I would do Inspiration all day, every day if I could. I do absolutely love Legend as well. I do a ton of Legend and I think it's great. But it's funny how much it's kind of funny because when I present the options to my customers, and you would think I would want them to choose Legend, but I actually get excited when they choose Inspiration. They're both equally as nice to put on and not frustrating or anything like that. But for some reason, I just really love inspiration lately. I'm kind of the same. Like I love inspiration. I also love the versatility of it, I think. It's such a great wheel coating. It's such a great trim coating. It's, for all the plastics on mirrors and everything like that. It's just, I think I just really love the versatility and the change that it makes. But Legend is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Legend is a crazy solid coating. So on this Mini Cooper that I did, which is my little runaround car now, I did Legend the other day, and it's so fun and it looks amazing. It feels amazing. On this one, I decided to not put Soul as the topper. I wanted to just leave it Legend, and it feels and looks amazing. So, I mean, I love them all,
Maybe
but
I'm digging it because it's kind of like I backed down my expectations on coatings. I mean, that's kind
yeah,
of what's happening in the
yeah,
industry
yeah,
is everyone wanted to sell this
hmm
crazy, 1000H,
yeah,
coating that lasted 20 years. And really, I want to see my customers' cars every 2 to 3 years now. I want to see them for maintenance. I'm
yeah,
already, after
yeah,
doing coatings, and I've been doing coatings since 2000 or 2012,
yeah,
so almost 10 years now. I've realized that the people that have bought the top coatings,
hmm
they need to be seen because they also forget to maintain them.
hmm
And that's why, inspiration, top with soul, and doing that regularly, or
hmm
bead maker doing it quarterly to maintain the coating is pretty awesome. And that's
yeah,
why I've kind of backed down my expectations
yeah.
um, on the coating. The other thing is, and I'll tell you why I also like inspiration, is I have a 40-foot trailer and I put inspiration on the front and the back of it, and it turned out so nice.
Mhm.
Just multiple layers on, and it worked great on that surface.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of digging it, especially on those new fiberglass RVs and stuff.
Mhm.
It's pretty user friendly.
Yeah. Yep. So I love them all. And then I know you didn't ask about this, but I just need to say my favorite coating in the whole inspiration line is View. Sorry, I just have to say that. I
Okay,
absolutely love the glass coating, so I just have to add that in. So make sure you apply that too, because regardless what coating you put on the paint, the
see,
View, awesome.
do you know why Sydney likes View so much? It's because anytime she has to replace her wipers on her vehicle, she just replaces her vehicle.
Right. There's
And
that.
so
Yeah.
if she can protect the glass without having to use a wiper blades and
Yeah.
preserving, she gets to keep her car longer.
Yeah, that's so true. If that's absolutely true because on the Durango, I put View on there during the testing phase, which was, gosh, what, February, March of 2020, and then had never replaced it. And so I made it to October of 2021 and pushed the View way past its limits. Then all of a sudden, I needed new windshield wipers, and then that caused the snowball effect of the last couple weeks of having to get new cars because I needed new windshield wipers. So yes, if I would just keep up on the View, I would have to get a new car. Okay, so Spencer asks Sydney, what brand of buffers do you use and sizes? So I use both of the big ones. So I have a Flex and I have Rupes. I like them both. I am slightly more partial to the Rupes just because um, for me, being a female, and I have a lot of nerve damage in my arms and carpal tunnel. And important note is it's all caused by using cheap polishers in the beginning and not taking care of my body. So I have a lot of damage caused from like the Harbor Freight and I won't name any different, cheaper made polishers. And so it is hard for me to use polishers for a long amount of time now. And so just because of the way the Roop has worked, it causes less stress on my body than say the Flex does. But if I need to get something done fast and, be a little bit quicker, then I'll muscle through using the Flex. I do like my Flex as well, but and then on the sizes, 5 inch for me. The 6 inch is too big. My brain can't even wrap around it. So I use the 5 inch on both. So I use the Rupes Mark III and then the Flex 3401. Yep. And Kyle, what do you use? Do you use the 6 inch or the? I know
I
Kyle's a
have so
Flex
many different
3401. He just wants to
polishers.
get through it.
Yeah, I have a lot of Flex 3401s. I have the PXE 80, which is an amazing little battery
I
powered
need to get one
tool.
of those. I know.
I have a Roop S Nano. I have a Roop S Duetto. I have a Roop S 15 Mark III, which is actually a nice tool for finishing. But when I'm doing correction, it's with my Flex. We're about to go polish some metal on an airplane today, and I'm going to use my Flex 3401. And I have lots of other tools. DeWalt, Makita. I have a whole lot of tools that I don't ever use anymore, too.
Yeah.
But my go-to every day, I actually need to send 3 Flexes to go get refurbished. I've had them for almost 10 years, and they need to be looked at by someone that can do more than just replace a trigger or a cord. I've put them through a lot. So
yeah,
great tools there.
Yep. All right, grind detailing. How can I get all the 32-ounce PNS bottles that Sydney has? So I obviously got all mine from PNS. So PNS does have the 32-ounce bottles labeled for all the products. So you can get them off of our website. But another idea to save some might be if you have a local distributor, you can always ask them to get them for you. I know that a lot of our distributors don't carry the full line. They might have some, especially the double black ones. So you can either order them all directly from PNS or check and see if your distributor can get them for you on their next order. But PNS does have them all. Are you laughing at how quick I say PNS?
No, I was actually laughing because my daughter is putting her shoes on over by the stairs and she burped, and I wasn't sure if you guys could hear that or not.
Oh no, we didn't hear it.
And you can definitely guess which daughter did that.
Yes. Yep. The little one.
That would be the redhead.
That's so funny. Okay. And I know we missed a couple comments. Uni.
Did we miss some?
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I read some, but now they're too low, but that's okay.
Oh yeah. Let me mention something real quick though about 32-ounce bottles. And finding a distributor. If you need to find your local distributor, go to PS Detail Products and search the distributor map and find your local distributor there. We get questions all the time.
Yeah.
Where's my local distributor? And on Instagram, all I do is just send out the link. If you go to our website, you can put in your area, your address, and find your local distributor. And it's growing. You can say it's a whole new map recently. So more is going to be put on soon. And you can see there's PNS distributors all over the world. But we have a lot in Southern California, and we have a lot all over the U.S.
Yeah.
So
and then that gives you the store's phone number as well, so you can always call them ahead of time and ask them, if they carry the 32-ounce bottles or any product that you're curious about. A lot of them have either their website or phone number or things like that, so you can always check before you make the trip in. For sure. And then for those of you that have not seen our new website, I know Chris has it up. Ian did a great job redoing our website. So if you haven't checked that out, you can find almost everything you need there. And so it is a lot more user-friendly, and ordering can now absolutely happen on PNS Detail Products. So very cool. I think one of my favorite bottles is the undressed one. I just really like that tire track. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And then also for you guys to know, on these bottles, the labels are chemical resistant. So, I've had the same bottles for, 2-3 years in a lot of cases, have never had to replace them. I spill stuff on them all the time. And they're great. So the labels on these bottles are absolutely great. They don't wear out. They don't bleach or fade or anything like that. They're awesome. 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 Okay. So there was a question that was regarding what's the reason for the silicone shortage? Was that one? And then, so the answer just came up, and it says there are a lot of factors to the shortage. Production plants are less, material handling is a problem, lots of factors. And then there's just a lot of more higher demand for the silicone. So it's definitely in short supply and high demand, and which is going to, cause the price and everything to go up. So it just, at this point, because of the demand, the availability, and the price, it's just not conducive to make some of those products that require a really high content of silicone. That's why.
I was gonna say, didn't we hear that one of the plants it no longer exists? Like there was a fire or something. I don't remember.
Huh. I don't remember hearing
I
about
thought
that,
that's
but
something that Keith had said. But anyway,
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy world out there. And then Spencer asked, "Can we get a link, please?" I'm assuming he's talking about for the bottles.
maybe I just go to the website and search bottles.
Yeah, just go to the website and search bottles. So just psdetailproducts.com, and you'll see, links. And then some of them you may have to search by the product name. Or is there a tab, Chris, if you click bottles, does just all the empty bottles come up? That might be the quickest way, is to just search bottles.
Not that I know of. I just search bottles.
Oh, okay. So Spencer, the new website is also the old website address. It's just been totally updated. So it's just psdetailproducts.com. Super easy. Cool. And then somebody mentioned that they use the 3401 for cutting and the Mark III for polishing. I do that too. Absolutely. So the other day, actually, I was working on a Chrysler 300 and it was pretty battered. And so it made my life quicker and shorter. I would cut the panel with the 3401 and then I went straight to polish right over it with the Mark III, and it cut my time down quite a bit. So I absolutely do that too. That's a great way to do it. The Mark III is a great finishing tool. Cool. All right. Everyone's looking for it. I love it. I love the bottles. They found it.
Sales of bottles is just going to explode on the website today. That's
awesome. Yeah. Sorry about that.
We love the bottles. I love having fresh bottles, clean bottles.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Breakbuster bottle that was still in good shape, but I just couldn't use it in a picture or a video because we trashed it.
Yeah.
So I just had to say goodbye to it and replace it with a fresh one recently.
Yeah. And they're very cost effective. They're just a couple bucks a piece, right? And they make all the
about
difference
$3
in the world.
now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love them. Love them. Okay. Spencer, do you guys have, sorry, Chris, you put up a different one. Kyle's Detail Garage. I have a client that wants his powder coated bed polished. Any suggestions? I'm going to throw that one to you, Kyle.
Wants his powder coated bed polished. Like bed frame of a bed or tonneau cover. Well, I'll just say, yeah, maybe powder coating is different than paint. Yeah. And I've dealt with this in the past with a lot of sand rails because most of them are powder coated. I have a razor and the cage is powder coated. You can polish them and clean them, but you can't actually manipulate the surface too much because powder coating is basically plastic melted. Like that powder is bonded by a magnetically, right, with a charge, and they put it in an oven and they bake it. So there's a layer there, and you can polish it, but you can't manipulate it like you would clear coat or single stage paint. You can actually melt it if you got it too hot. So if you want to lightly polish it, clean it up, yeah, you can totally do that. I've done it, but you're not going to be able to fix like heavy scratches. And I would never like wet sand on powder coat.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Polishing tips for it though. Use kind of like a medium dense pad, like a yellow or a blue. And if it's really dirty or grimy, I don't know the color. If it's like a dark color, you may want to use like ultra coat polish. Will clean it, and leave behind some protection and kind of moisturize it. Kyle's Boat and RV store I've used, and I've had great results. But ultra coat and Kyle's work really well for that. Yeah. If you're trying to hydrate and cleanse the powder coating.
Yeah. I was just going to mention that. I had a work truck, like a landscape truck in here last year that had just the lower rail, up to the body line was powder coated. And I just used Kyle's on a wool pad just to kind of clean it up and hydrate it. And it worked great. It worked really good. And
All
really,
right,
I was
let's
just
take
going
our.
for the cleaning
Let's
there.
go to the last question because I got
Yeah,
to get
Kyle's
on
got
the
to get to
road
work today. He's got an airplane. So Spencer, do you guys have a YouTube paint correction video? I don't believe we do. Not like a extensive kind of talking about paint correction, but I will add that to our list of videos to make. I don't think we have an extensive one. So I will work with Rennie and Kyle on that, and we'll get one of those made because that definitely should be on the list. So I'll add
If
that.
we do, it's been probably 5 or 6 years, and it's
Yeah.
time for a revamp.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Yep.
time to update it because everything's changed. Since
Everything's
then.
changed. Tools, pads, compounds, polishes. So yes. So
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
add that.
I'm
to
going
the
to
list.
throw out there, though, that there is no substitute for hands-on, in-person training when it comes to paint correction.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And Chris, where can people get training?
all over the place.
But since they're watching our Bead Maker and Coffee, so we have several options for training. So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, detailing success with Rennie, and I help manage that. And then PNS does trainings up in Hayward once a month, a detailing class, and then a second ceramic coating class. Like Sydney said earlier in the show, 2022 dates have not been announced yet for PNS and Hayward, but they will be soon and eventually, and then we'll get you guys ready to go on those.
Yep. Cool. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us today. Kyle's got an airplane to work on, so we've got to jump off of here, but we appreciate everybody joining us today. Have an awesome week, and we will be back here in 2 weeks, which will be the Monday after Thanksgiving, I think.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So everybody have an awesome Thanksgiving with your family, and we will. And then always, if you have a question in between, make sure you contact us on our social media. We'll get right back to you, and we will see you in. I guess it won't quite be December, but pretty close.
Close to December.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Chris.